This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsurAvest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsurAvest, with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Jo Marie. This is Apollonia. Both of them InsureVest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. InsureVest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK. This is Joe Marie. This is Apolonio. Both of them Insuravest with a PruLink Elite Protector.
That's better. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Good? All right. So welcome to the 2017 PruLife UK Relationship Index launch. Sounds interesting, right? Very, right? Relationships are very interesting, I think. I would also like to thank, before we start, Ms. Kelly Young of Prudential Corporation Asia. Ms. Kelly, where are you? Thank you so much for being here. And Mr. Charles Lancaster of Rutherford to join us this morning. Thank you so much. Charles, where are you? Very friendly chap. He's hiding somewhere. I can't find him. My name is Lexi Schultz, and I'll be your host for today's very enlightening program. I'm happy to be part of today's launch and excited to talk about something that's important to each of us, of course, our relationships. Okay, who's in a relationship now? Wala? Single kayong lahat? No, but when we talk about relationships, obviously we also have relationships with our parents, right? With friends, with classmates or whatever. Okay, so now, who has a very special relationship in their lives? Wala talaga. Shucks. And Filipinos are known to be people persons, right? Okay, I think we just have to warm up a little bit. Right? Diba? Parang no one wants to admit na naka-relationship sila. I bet you if you go into Facebook status, it's complicated. Okay? So, when we talk about relationships, though, you might think, how is that very exciting? We talk about relationships all the time, right? You make chika to your friends about like who broke up with whom, or talk about, ay naku, yung mami ko napakamakulit. It's always like that. Maybe true, but have you ever wondered if the conversations you've had in your relationships or about your relationships are impactful? Okay, so we're gonna discuss that today. For instance, who today has spoken to a loved one, whether it be your mother or your boyfriend or, sige, mga mother, who's spoken to their mother in the last few days, or father? Okay. Sorry You're the most charming kasi you're listening to me eh. Nakikinig ka sa akin eh. Okay, so what did you talk to your mother about when you spoke to her? Ayan, sige lang. I'll move back to the stage. Medyo tight to eh. Sige lang. What's your name, please? You're Leslie, I'm Lexi. Very nice. Yes. Wala? Can you hear her? I don't think it's working. Let me just go back to her.
Hello,
Ayun.
there.
Sige.
Okay. Hi, good morning. I'm Blessy.
Okay.
What did I talk to my dad
Yes,
about?
you spoke to your dad in
my
the
dad.
last few days or
Yeah.
yesterday?
Yeah. I think Tuesday or something.
Okay.
I asked him if he'd be home this weekend because I live here in Manila. He lives in Bulacan, so I asked him if he would be home.
Ayun, because you get to see him naman once in a
Yes,
while.
of course.
How important is your relationship with your father?
Oh, very important. Of
Diba?
course. Daddy ko yun eh.
And do you feel that you talk about the issues when you talk to him, or is it more na parang, oh, kumain ka na ba?
I know.
Or
I talk to my dad about everything.
about everything.
Yes.
So does he know your relationship status?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kidding. But Leslie, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
talking to us this morning. Okay, so we do talk to our loved ones every day. I know I do. Okay, we talk to our loved ones, but when you ask them, what more can I do for you? Have you ever asked your dad that? What more can I do for you? Or what will happen to the family if ever something happens? I think we as Filipinos don't like talking about death so much. You know, we know it's there, but we'd rather talk about the good times, diba? This is what we do. Now, PruLife UK asked these questions to more than 500 Filipinos. And with their answers, we want to encourage you to take a deeper look into your relationships and think about how they work and how they affect your lives personally and, of course, financially, okay? I can't wait to introduce our guest speakers for today. You see them already, and we know that we're gonna have a fun time because they're all very kalog, and I think they all have a lot to say about different aspects of their lives as well. You know, we'll be joined by the key personalities in relationship dynamics and personal finance. Maybe you've read their books already, or their articles on relationship advice, or maybe you've asked them already, diba? Doc Margie, baka one of them has already asked you for relationship advice. Or maybe you are a big fan of their talk shows on TV. I know I am. I won't ask you anymore if you have an idea of who they are because syempre ang liit ng venue natin and they're right there already. But before we do that and introduce these wonderful personalities to you, let us welcome you to listen to and start the conversation by posting your thoughts with the hashtag re-inspiring relationships, okay? I know you guys are all on Instagram, Facebook, and all of this. The hashtag is re-inspiring relationships with a focus on real being R, capital E, capital A, and capital L, okay? I think it is being flashed, so you guys don't have an excuse. But before anything else, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Antonio Jumbing de Rosas to give us his opening remarks.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for being here and joining us at the 2017 PruLife UK Relationship Index launch. We are proud to share the PRI study with you today. At PruLife UK, everything really in our business is about relationships. When a person buys an insurance policy, he's actually thinking of his relationship with his loved ones. Should he or she meet their untimely demise, they don't want their loved ones to suffer. Not only they're already suffering emotionally, but they don't also want their loved ones to suffer financially. So it's really about relationships with respect to our business. So the region and ourselves in PruLife UK went further to study relationships. And it's not just about choosing the school that you want to be to study in, or whether to accept an offer from a company, or deciding when it is time to get married. We prioritize our family and our loved ones when we make important life decisions. One can say that the quality of our lives are really dependent on the kind of relationships that we have with others. To improve our lives, it would help to understand our relationships a little better, knowing its dynamics, strengths, and weaknesses. And to help ourselves get to this deeper understanding, mentioned by Lex earlier, we interviewed 500 people in the Philippines and over 4,600 in Asia to share their relationship triumphs, expectations, and fears. The PRI is a reminder that despite the busy lives we lead, our relationships still deserve our time and attention. With the 2017 PRI, we hope that you are empowered to talk about your relationships honestly and thoughtfully. Thank you, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of the morning.
Sir, I like it when you smile. Parang serious ka masyado. Diba? Mr. De Rosas, thank you very much for that introduction. For me, it's true that family has always been a big factor whenever I make decisions for my career. Because I think I started this career because my grandfather was in the movie industry, then my tita was a host. So, I really always look to them for inspiration. And my sisters and I work together as well. And now I'm a mom, and my daughter is in theater. So, everything is really, we always talk about all of our issues. And family has always been a top consideration for me. Now, who wants to hear about what other Filipinos had to say about the state of their relationships today? Please join me in welcoming Mr. Alan Tumbaga. He's the PruLife UK SVP and Chief Marketing Officer to take us through the 2017 PRI highlights. Alan, thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're talking about relationships, and as was mentioned, Relationships are at the core of our business. It is our bread and butter, the very foundation of PruLife UK. Relationships influence our decisions, and customers trust us because we've established a special bond with them. Our role as an insurance company goes beyond providing them with relevant products. We are here to help our customers protect the people and connections that they care about. Okay. This is where PRI comes in. The PRI is a study to find out what matters most in personal relationships in the Philippines and 8 other countries in Asia. We embarked on this study in 2016 because our relationships directly affect our quality of life. And we wanted to see how we can make them stronger, better, and more rewarding. Last year, the Philippines had a relationship score of 79 over 100. The inaugural PRI 2016 saw a great deal of smiles, tears, and laughter. Now in its second year, we spoke to 500 plus people, as mentioned earlier, aged 25 to 55 years old, and asked them about partner expectations, financial planning, health, and longevity. This year, we are happy to say that our country, is still second out of the 9 countries surveyed in Asia, with a PRI score of 79 over 100. In other words, 79% of Filipinos we interviewed are fulfilled with their relationship needs and expectations. This is an above average score. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. The 2017 PRI revealed interesting truths about the current landscapes of relationships. Okay. For example, when talking about what they want from their partners, 38% of Filipino couples want their partners to be more responsible. Wouldn't you, right? So now you know what to give your partner for Christmas. Responsibility. No. Just be more responsible and show initiative, if not creativity. Okay? Along with being responsible, Filipino couples also expect their parents to be honest with them. Those who said they tell their partners everything scored 80 over 100, while those who said no scored 68. So, the lesson is, tell your partners everything. Okay? Gentlemen, you'd probably also want to consider doing more work at home. As we found out, only 1/3 of our male respondents think they do most of the chores against the 84% of women. Okay? Will you be willing to do more among the males here? Now, on financial planning, 89% of couples who plan their finances together expect their finances to improve in 5 years. However, when asked about preparing for unforeseen events and for the future, 47% believe their family would suffer financially if anything happened to them. Meanwhile, 87% of Filipinos expect to rely on personal savings in their old age, but only 32% expect to receive financial support from their children. I think this is quite changed, and we'll talk about it later. This is news to me because when I was younger, I always had the impression that all children were expected to support their parents in their senior years. And I'm sure most of you have been led to believe. Besides this I found very interesting, although why only in 2050? Besides this, we are pleasantly surprised to see that Filipinos have a positive and open-minded outlook when asked to envision the state of relationships in 2050. That's like what? 33 years from now. Okay? 80% believe divorce or separation will be socially acceptable. 70% believe that children will have a better future than they do now. 65% believe that same-sex marriage will be legal in the country. So those are the top highlights of the PRI. We hope that this encourages you to start conversations and plan for significant life events and decisions with your loved ones. For a better appreciation of the study, we prepared this special video. Please direct your attention to the screen. Thank you.
Mga problema, financial, family problem, yung mga relatives namin.
There were challenges, maraming mga pagsubok. Di na biro yung kung saan kami ngayon. What I want to change with my partner, wala naman sa ngayon. It's more of I would want to change myself to understand him and to know him better.
Well, siya, kasi napaka-sensitive niya. Ako, sabi niya dati sa akin, napaka-insensitive ko. Yung expressing of feelings, oo, meron talaga may pagkakataon. Parang kailangan mong mag-ingat, baka ma-hurt yung feelings niya na gusto mong sabihin sometimes.
Yung kalusugan niya, siya yung provider namin eh. Siya yung nagbibigay ng lahat. Kumbaga, financially, sa kanya lahat.
Regarding my lifestyle, kasi I've been juggling, sabay kong ginagawa yung regular work at yung theater. Nung una, sobrang negative ni Jack.
Each of us individually has his own passion. Rehearsals takes a lot of time. Minsan, sumusobra na. So, sinasabi ko na hey, parang this time, no work, spend time with us.
But I always explain na it's all for us, na yun yung passion na ginagawa ko.
Siguro yung how he being organized sa bahay. Pressing issue yon for me, especially I'm the one who's doing everything. So I would want him to be more orderly.
Encouraging the change ng mga bad habits, still in the process of developing, still in the process of changing. Sometimes naisip ko, baka naman nasa akin yung mali. Baka naman hindi talaga si Jack yung kailangan magbago, baka ako ang kailangan magbago sa pakikitungo sa kanya. Sometimes, she always say na napaka-insensitive ko sa mga bagay-bagay. Siguro yun talaga, ngayon ko na na-realize yun, baka talagang ako'y may mali. After everything, sinabi ko, yes, I understand my wife more. Na hindi pala talaga dapat yung isipin mong bago ng isang tao, kundi baguhin mo na yung sarili.
I definitely understand him more with all these questions. And iba yung nagagawa lang namin sa nasasabi at naririnig namin. Naiintindihan ko siya in a way na, dito pala siya nanggagaling. Kailangan laging may step back on how you understand your partner more. In that way, you can see a bigger or wider picture or wider lens for that sense. I want to thank you for everything kasi really our road is not an easy one. Becoming one is not really easy, especially we have different personalities. I believe so much in you, so much in your leadership, so much in everything. I'm just happy to be your wife. So thank you for everything.
Salamat sa pag-intindi sa akin, sa pagtanggap sa akin, despite everything. Sabi ko sa'yo, maging emotional ako pag ganito eh.
Ayan, di ba? Thank you very much for that, Alan. Who was moved by that? Di ba? Ang cute-cute ng dalawa. It was such a nice, open conversation. And you live under the same roof, but you don't realize that there's so many things that you still have to discover in terms of one another in the relationship. And with them, ganda that Jack wanted to actually improve herself for her partner as well. If we take time to listen and to talk truthfully, we'll see how much we can grow as individuals, as partners, and as parents. As much as we Filipinos are also known for being very malambing or expressive, I do think that we should still be able to open up with our family and partner about unpleasant topics to plan for the future of our loved ones. Okay? So, sino nakilig dyan? Nakilig ba kayo? Coffee, please, for everybody in the house. Or maybe food in a while. Okay? But really, the conversations have to be had. And at this point, I'd like to introduce our relationship experts who will share their insights and give their 2 cents on the 2017 PRI study. Okay? Are you guys ready? Yes? First up, we have pioneering psychologist and relationship therapist, Dr. Margie Holmes. Have a seat, ma'am, anywhere you like. Would you need some help? Kayang-kaya mo yan. Can we help Doc Margie, please? All right, and speaking of relationships, our next speaker has witnessed dozens of love stories as a celebrated wedding host, and he has penned books on his own relationship experience. Wow, explosive ba yan? Talaga? Promise? On top of this, he is also a serial entrepreneur. Let's welcome Mr. RJ Ledesma. Serial. And last but not the least, we have one of the biggest personalities in hosting and in showbiz. He is also an outspoken advocate of LGBT rights. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Boy Abunda. All right, let's give them the microphones. This is gonna be a long conversation, guys. Are we ready? Good morning. How's everybody?
Good.
Tito Boy, how are you?
I'm fine. Sexy.
Sexy?
Yes.
All right, RJ.
Sexy Lexi makes sense, no?
You know, it's the only thing that rhymes with my name, so swerte talaga
Lexi
ako.
sexy.
But let's get into it because we have a lot of topics to discuss. Okay, so the first question, of course, as mentioned earlier, according to the PRI, most couples in the Philippines believe that planning their finances together will benefit their relationship with their partners and, of course, will improve their finances in the process. For all of you, what do you feel about that? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you've all done that and are doing that.
Okay. I think it's a very good way to look at it. I also think that if you plan it together, then you will understand better why maybe one spouse feels the other one is spending too much. But if you talk about it, then you will realize more deeply where your partner is coming from. So it's good if they plan things together.
Correct. And just like what we saw a while ago, you're living together, pero sometimes you don't understand each other fully, di ba? Kasi the conversations are not had. RJ, well, you can talk about your relationship as well with your beautiful wife. Ay wala.
So again, Lexi, thanks so much. I just want to say before I start, quite an honor to be together with Kuya Boy over here and Dr. Margie. We belong to the same generation now, the Gen X generation over here.
Gen X tayo
Thank you for
lahat.
being
Gen
kind.
X.
But just before we start, I spoke to both Dr. Margie and Kuya Boy over here and asked them that before we can speak about relationships, there's a very important relationship that we want to establish with our guests here today. And that is to make sure that they're all very good looking. So before we start, can I just ask a favor from all of you to take a good look at the person beside you on the left side or the right side. Please take a good look at the person beside you. At pakisabi lang po sa kanila, ang ganda mo. Ang ganda mo, Kuya Boy. Ang gwapo mo. Ang gwapo mo.
Nagising sila.
Nagising tuloy. Okay.
O yan.
And the next thing...
Pag sabi talaga ni RJ, ang ganda mo, I know.
And the next thing I want to say to our president of Pro-Life, I have a relationship with you right now. My youngest son is now Pro-Life, insured under Pro-Life as well. So that's the start of our relationship over there. Sip-sip, no? Tuloy-tuloy na yan. So now moving on to relationships, I'm sure Lexi and the rest of you can commiserate with me to say that when I was still a bachelor, I wasn't too concerned about my financial standing because it's, usually when you're a bachelor, you spend a lot on yourself. And it was only when I got married and I realized I had the responsibility of being not only a husband but a father. At that time, my wife was just pregnant and now we've got 3 kids. That was the only time we had to sit down and realize to plan together as a couple, because I remember when we got married, she looked at my bank account and said, "Where did all your money go from all your hosting?" And I realized I hadn't been spending it wisely or judiciously. And that was the road for us to start off planning things together. And I've got a lot more stories of how we plan things together. So right now, not to say that I am a relationship or a financial expert, but there have been some common sense nuggets which we've used along the way to make sure that we don't fight about money that often.
But you still fight about money.
Yes, I think that's part and parcel of it all. We fight. We we have dynamic discussions about money at home.
What's yours is hers and what's hers is hers.
Very good, very good.
Okay. Tito Boy?
This is a better mic. No, I'll take a different tack. I am in a 34-year relationship. Today, yes, fortunately we are not fighting about money. We don't have problems about money. We saved enough for what we are today. But I'd like to go back to the beginning. And this is very important because I am guided. I am not consumed. I'm not consumed by my past. But it is important to go to the past. When we were starting, we had nothing. We came from nowhere. We had no savings. We were not earning. I was roaming the streets of Manila. And Bong was in school. So it was about survival. So there are some relationships where, come on, you don't plan finances when you don't have anything to plan for. So what I learned early on in my life when I was starting was we had to live within what we had or less than what we had. There was a time I was surviving on pisong kanin at saka isang tuhog ng inihaw na pusit. All right? Why am I saying this? Because early on in my relationship with Bong, it was all about surviving. It was all about what was going to happen the next day until we found the first job, the second job, the third job. Now, bakit mahalaga na binabalikan ko yung nakaraan? When we started to earn little money, I was fueled, my attitude towards money and Bong's attitude, coming partners, was fueled by fear. It's not nice to be poor. Ang hirap maging mahirap. Ayokong balikan yung mga panahon na wala kami. I mean, there were days, I would admit, we didn't go hungry, nakikikain kami sa mga kamag-anak, but sometimes there were days when we had nothing to eat. So nung nag-umpisa kami magtrabaho, we learned how to save. It was very, very important for us. Halimbawa, kumikita kami ng 10,000, yung 5,000, idinideposito namin yon, parang wala, kinakalimutan na namin. And I'd like to tell you that the bank teller at PCI Equitable Bank, who is now the branch manager of BDO in one of the branches in Quezon City, is still the same girl who takes care of our account. Kaya we were able to save dahil takot na takot. You know, I will admit that it was fear. Ayoko, my father died inside a taxi cab in the arms of his mother of heart attack and of poverty. Ayoko balikan yon. Ayoko maghirap. Ayokong walang pambili ng gamot para sa aking nanay. So I've been guided. I repeat, I am not consumed by my past, but binabalikan ko yon. Ayoko maghirap. Kaya marunong ako magtipid. Now, do Bong and I talk about money? Do we plan about our finances? I'm lucky to have a partner who share the same values. I wouldn't even say financial values as I do. We know how to live within. Projection lang yung mga lubutan ng mga sapatos. But pag meron, bumibili. Pag wala, hindi kami bumibili. But we don't lose the fun in living together. Yes, we talk about money. We quarrel sometimes about our expenses, but lahat napapag-usapan. In summary, we're very stable, and I'm proud to say that because a lot of you are witness to how hard I worked in this business. I come from a past which was not pleasant. I come from a past which was miserable, and I want to go back there. I don't want to go back there.
Thank you for sharing that story, Tito Boy. And it's like you're living your life with a sense of prudence throughout because you just don't want to go back there talaga. Well, back to RJ. I mean, your income we're all the same, very irregular because, we do hosting gigs and all of that. How do you plan for the future of your family? And maybe you can give tips
Which
as well to others.
Which is great because I was actually getting some advice from Kuya Boy over here when it comes to hosting. Now, I'm actually a man of many hats. I wish I had just as many heads. Hosting is one of the more visible things which I do, but actually, for those who know, I'm also a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker. I give talks on entrepreneurship. And I'm also one of the persons who set up Mercato Central. So I founded Mercato Central. I have a strong entrepreneurial streak going for myself. So one of the best advice I got from Rose Fres Fausto, the FQ mom, I don't know if you know her. She says that in a profession where you have income that is irregular, what you need to have is regular expenses. That you know specifically what are your expenses that you spend every month, so you can actually you can plan against those. So for my, it's really education, it's the living expenses. Those things I make sure are very stable. Now, the next thing also I wanted to give advice to people when they ask me for finance is that hosting is good, and I try to make it a very stable profession. And like I said, for me, in my profession, I've tried to niche myself where I'm probably one of the hosts who is sought after when it comes to business or corporate moderation or lifestyle. So I get a lot of those hostings on a very regular basis because you've built sort of like a unique selling proposition over there. But the next thing is to develop a regular cash flow. And for those of you looking to develop regular cash flows, aside from just putting your money, not only in time deposits but mutual funds, is that really looking for a business where you can do recurring cash flows where you don't have to be present all the time. I'm a host, so I know how it's like that. It's my kayod. Every time I'm out there, I earn money only when I host. What work can I have that I don't have to host? I put my money there and I will get a regular return. That's why I put up Mercato. But aside from that one, I also realized that there are other businesses which you can also set up. That's why we often tell people, what businesses can you set up where your personality is not important? I often say that right now, one of the key economic drivers in the Philippines is franchising. So getting a good franchise, if you're learning to become a good entrepreneur, can start off with that one. So developing, really looking for the best franchise that you can come up with right now. There are actually right now in the banks accredited franchises which you can get, which the bank will lend you money so you'll be able to create a regular cash flow for yourself. So these are just a couple of things I share with people when they ask me about how do you keep a regular income despite your irregular job.
Okay.
I have something to say.
Yes, Tito Boy.
Ako kasi, katulad ng marami sa inyo, hindi ako marunong mag-prepare ng cash flow, Marge. I don't understand these things. Hindi ako marunong, ito, ganito, etc. Unlike RJ, I may be a host, but I have contracts. I have guaranteed contracts. So there's a little stability into it. But only after 2-3 years, and then you're dependent on your next contract. But I can't complain. I've been treated by ABS so well. I've been able to afford the life that I have today because of my contract. Pero ganito yun. Ako, a little sense of paranoia always works.
I agree.
Hindi ako marunong umutang. Hindi ako nagplaplano sa future ng mga bagay na gagawin ko based on money that I have not earned. Halimbawa, auto. Halimbawa, bahay. For the longest time, my nanay would say, why don't you build a house in Manila? This is about 15, 20 years ago. Sabi ko, Nay, I don't want to build a house in Manila because I want to go home to the province. I mean, I don't want to stay in the city because I'm not a city girl. Boy. I want to go home to the province, okay? But a little paranoia. What if I lose my job tomorrow? What will happen? Ayoko bumili ng Suburban or I don't want to buy an SUV based on projections. I may be wrong, ha? This is a personal experience. I don't want to build a house na hindi handa ang aking pera. Pag-iipunan ko yan ng ilang taon, pag-iipunan ko yan ng ilang buwan. Pag nasa akin na ang pera, I'll start. I don't know if it makes sense, but my advice to young couples usually, aside from the fact that, use a little paranoia. What if I lose my contract next week? What happens? A little bit of that, not too much because you'll go crazy. That's one. And then don't spend something that you haven't earned. Don't spend. I don't know, Marge, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Just in the clinical psychology profession, the difference, and I think it's fabulous what you two do, and I hope personally, paranoia really resonates with me. When you have clients, some of the things you do, because, one can't insist on what one does. I mean, it works for you, it might work for many people, but it takes guts, right? It takes guts to do what you do. And sometimes, and I hope True Life will help, and listening to the two of you, and sana to me too will help, but you have to start with where the person is coming from. And definitely what you say, Boy, is that the past helps. The past informs the future and the present. And this is it, some people have very traditional views of marriage, like this wonderful video we saw where basically only one person earns and the other contributes as much because she takes care of the house, etc., etc. The most important in terms of the same view is supporting each other. And talking really helps because what happens sometimes is that you carry this resentment and you always feel that you do more than your partner does. Like, what we heard.
But Doc
Huli
Mark,
na lang,
go-
Lexi. I'm
go
really
ahead,
sorry.
Go ahead.
The most dangerous thing is to plan for the future around the expectations of others. You know, to plan for the future because you're pressured by mom, because you're pressured by friends. You know, we have to build a house because our best friend has built theirs. There's a book that might help you. It's a daily stoic. It's actually a philosophy. Have you read that? It's quite interesting. It's the philosophy of stoicism. You know, that a lot of problems in the world are created because of how we let ourselves be affected by the impressions and expectations of others. So don't go into some financial planning only because your neighbor has done something. Yun lamang.
Can I say something?
Of course.
No,
You're making my job very easy.
I'm
Go
very
ahead.
shy. Okay. No, I think the other thing to remember, and it's painful to think about, is that basically all the research consistently shows in terms of happiness and satisfaction in life that relationships matter. This is the most important. How much you earn, that you feel comfortable in terms of how much you earn, very good, no? But the critical factor is whether you have relationships. This matters most. However, the second part of this, and I think what is very important, is you have to be ready if your partner goes before you. Either in terms of physical, he dies, or in terms of he's not bright enough, so he thought, you know, he fell in love with someone else.
He walks away.
Okay. Yes, he walks away. Yeah. I mean,
Facebook, it's complicated. Yan. Okay.
Yes. This is very important, and I think everyone has to be ready for this. In addition to having your own money or your own concern, even if your partner earns most, you know, just having your own nest egg, even if you talk to your partner about it, that is not dependent on his goodwill. Okay? I think that is of absolute importance.
Okay. And I guess, well, sorry, Lex, we'll take your job for you over
Go
here.
ahead. I'm just here.
But the
Tell
other
me
thing,
when
like,
you're ready.
one of the things I realized, I know one of these questions will crop up, and it's a nice topic among the three of us over here, is that who actually handles the finance? Because that's a big issue which stems from what Dr. Margie was talking about. One of the best advice we got from financial advisors is that it's not a gender-based thing as to who handles the finances, diba? Or it's not, what's more important in the consideration is that sino yung mas kuripot, siya yung hawak ng pera.
Dapat lang.
That's what I realized. I realized in my relation. That's what's worked out very well for me and my wife, because I realized that when you learn to over the years, when you learn to complement each other, I realized that at work, I have the sense of paranoia like Kuya Boy. I'm out there hosting the whole time. You know, you're hustling for opportunities wherever you can find them. And what I do is I come home, I give it to her, and say, "Can you please you manage this properly?" And so that she's the one who makes sure that all the investments I had, like I'm proud to say that my wife, after we got married, all the mutual funds, all the insurance that we had, all the financing that we got was through my wife and not through me. So that for me worked very, very well for our relationship, that she's been the one managing it, because I'm also more of the I was more of the hobbyist. I mean, guys, you know, if you're into Star Wars or comic books or gadgets, that's you, right? That's you. And my wife came from a more, her family was more
Conservative.
more conservative with spending. So it came out perfectly because she didn't really like spending a lot. So she was the one trying to kind of reining me in every time. And I guess that's been very good on the longer term. And my goodness, you're taking a video. My wife can watch this right now.
No,
Okay.
but you know, that makes a lot of sense, RJ. But also, for you to be able to assign, because that's a tip. I mean, I don't think there is a one system that works for all, okay? But that makes a lot of sense. Kung sino mas kuripot should handle the finances. But my comment there is, it takes a lot of relationship. It takes a lot of trust for the other one who earns more money to actually say, I trust you, honey. I trust you, honey. So it takes that relationship. Kasi, pag mayabang ang isa, why would allow my partner to handle the money that I earn? You know, I can probably assign you a certain amount from, you know, I'm talking from experiences of friends. So Marge is right. Within the relationship, iba-ibang dynamics. Because you can really adore each other, you can love each other, pero merong yabang, no? I have a couple friend who would say, you know, I earn for this family, but I'm not going to give all my money to my wife. I only apportion a certain, you know, it's different. So there is no one formula that works for all, but it works for RJ. I mean, it's very cultural. I was talking to Alan. You know, in terms of spending money, in terms of relationships, it is important to go to who you are. It is important to go to your story, which is different, which is unique. Extended families, behaviors of mother-in-laws, behavior of siblings. So go to your story and apply it there. You can go to your next question.
Okay, yes, because if we don't go to the next question, feeling ko will be served wine already.
That's right.
Cocktails na tayo.
Ready to stay here until 6 in the evening.
We're in Tomatito anyway. Okay, great.
So almost half of people in the Philippines worry about their family's financial situation should anything happen. For Doc Margie, Filipinos are actually aware that accidents and calamities happen to anyone. What hinders us from speaking about things like terminal illness? Because it's something that we don't like talking about, even that we know it could possibly happen.
I think one of the most basic reason is Filipinos and also Chinese, which is where I come from, sometimes feel that talking about it makes it happen more quickly. Right? So that, for example, my father never made the will, never arranged things, and it was a little more difficult for us, so please remember that. If you have children you care for and you don't want them to fight, because I think the legacy, hopefully, that parents give to their children is not just having enough money, which is terrific, but also having this particular sense of values where money is important, but it is not the be-all and end-all of relationships. Because once that happens, ang hirap talaga. And also, I think, and what I have seen in my clinical experience, is that it isn't the amount of money you have. People sometimes say when people fight about inheritance, for example, ang yaman kasi ninyo kaya nag-aaway kayo. That's not true. And people, for example, 8 siblings fight about 700 square meter bit of property. Because especially with inheritance, and which is why funerals are sometimes so difficult, all the unresolved conflicts of the past come out. That's why it is also good for parents, because sometimes parents are not aware that either because they don't know better or because they have needs that make the children fight among themselves and try to be the favorite of the parents. I think it is important that the legacy parents give their children is really priority of values, as I say, where there are more important things in life than money. Money is important, but yeah, is it worth fighting for? Is it worth staying in a job that you hate? And, sort of, is a soul-numbing, soul-destroying experience?
Right.
Or
also on the flip side, though, because Filipinos are also very much about taking care of their parents.
Yeah.
Diba?
Okay, you talk about it.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about. Jumping off of her point and moving on next to yours is the idea that what I've had to learn aside from prudence is that, especially when accidents do happen, or something bad, is that you should always have ready in your bank about 3 to 6 months worth of your salary, just in case anything happens, for any emergency purposes, as terms of good financial planning. And of course, at the same time, always have some health insurance ready. I guess for me, that's been very important in terms of my family. I know that one of my in-laws right now, they come from a very well-off family, but there was a chronic and serious illness where they were not able to secure insurance. And right now, it's really draining their resources because they didn't plan ahead of time. Whether or not how much money they had in the past didn't really matter. Now, moving on to the parents, also, learning from another guy, his name is J. Randall Tiongson, one of the premier financial planners here in the country. He often says how naiipit yung isang tao because what you're doing in the future is that you expect, you as someone making money, is that when your parents get older here in the Philippines, the old expectation was that you give money to your parents. So right now, at this age, you're about 40s, let's say your parents retire, you're paying for your parents, at the same time you're supporting your kids. So sino naiipit tayo, that generation who needs the money to support ourselves? Which just says a bit more that there is a need, especially here in the country, for us to change the sort of financial culture where we do teach, it starts with our generation, where we actually do teach ourselves that we need to earn enough money by having a financial consultant, people like our friends, our financial advisors from PruLife, to tell you that if you're going to get older, develop this nest egg so your personal savings is enough for you to live a comfortable lifestyle and not for you to burden your children. I mean, but right now, I mean, let's work on, if that's the culture established right now, it just puts a bit more effort on my generation of Gen X to make sure that I make a bit more where I'm able to support now both a bit for my parents and a bit for my kids as well. Not to say that that isn't a challenge, but hopefully with more people becoming financially literate and understanding the PruLife Relationship Index, we get more financially literate Filipinos who can financially support themselves.
But there is
No,
still...
I want to go back to your
Go ahead.
question. Why don't we want to talk about disease or terminal illnesses or even death? Why? Because it's painful. Why? Because it's negative. Why? Because I am afraid. You know, before Nanay was diagnosed with mild dementia, I wouldn't talk about Alzheimer's. I wouldn't talk about cancer. I mean, who talks about cancer during snacks? I mean, you don't talk about this. That's why it's very important. Culture, again, is very important. Some people are open about it. I have a friend, for example, who can talk about death. You know, my nana is 88 years old, and I have a very dear friend one day who calls me lovingly and says, "Hi, boy." And we talked about a lot of things, and she said, "How old is nanay?" Sabi ko, "She's 88. And then she said, "Ay, okay na." Sabi ko, "Pakiulit nga. Anong okay na?" Okay na. Your mother is never too old. I mean, you know, or nobody's ever too young to pass on. So we don't talk about illnesses. We don't talk about cancer. We don't talk about death because we are afraid of the unknown. I mean, I know we've gone into philosophies about life after death, about, you know, religion, etc. I'm fine with that. I respect that. But to this very day, only recently, siguro just a couple of months, only in 2017, am I able to talk about mortality in the context of nanay. So it's cultural. Hindi tayo si nanay. We're not used to talking about death over dinner. You know, we're not used to saying, "Tatay, what if you die tomorrow? What's going to happen?" So this is a sensibility. This is a sensitivity that we should be able to address. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. I mean, sabi ko nga, this is very personal. This is very individual. Each one of us has his own thing. So we are afraid to talk about diseases. We're afraid to talk about death. We're afraid. We're afraid of the unknown. Anything that we don't know is going to happen, natatakot tayo. My prayer is that this should be part of education. Mga bata pa lamang, napapag-usapan na ito. I mean, this is not going to be done today and we start to say, let's talk about this because it is necessary. It's cultural. It's educational. Marami ba? I thank you, PruLife, for giving us a platform to be able to talk about things we don't normally talk about. We don't talk about these things. But should we? I mean, that's my challenge to all of us.
Wonderful. I just wanted to add two things, and thank you. I've learned so much from the two of you. My parents have passed away, so focusing just on myself, and other people in the same situation. My husband and I made a living will, okay? Mainly because thinking of my children, how long do we want, first of all, for you to spend so much money for us when, you know, we might be vegetables or things like that. And by the way, there is one research that was done, admittedly my own, based on in-depth interviews, that some people commit suicide, not because they're depressed or have given up on life, but because they do not want their children to spend money on their treatment when they know the quality of life will not be good. So I am certainly not encouraging everyone to do this, and perhaps this is a reason, you know, we should plan for things like this. But in the Philippines is where I've only heard about it, no? That perhaps our feeling or our commitment to our families are such that rather than getting treatment from us, many have, if they have cancer, if they have something that they think is an incurable disease, they will do that. I mean, they will commit suicide because I don't think any child can bear to do it. But, and, you know, I mean, the pros and cons, the morality of that, it's up to you. The other thing, because the other thing, at least my husband and I, the other thing that my husband and I did, and maybe you will not, you know, want to do this, but because we're very pragmatic and we like to spend our money, unfortunately, is we had some money that we decided we wanted to keep. So that if anything happened to our health, we had this to go to without depending on our children. Of course, admittedly, after a while, I told him, you know, if we have to spend X amount to keep on living, I don't want to live. You know, because obviously that means it needs a lot of, you know, help, consultants. It needs, you know, all sorts of diagnostic tools. It needs like, you know, I don't know, an oxygen tank or something. This was my way of convincing him that the money we had for our health, we could diminish. I mean, but that's, you know, but I think okay, is, you know, just setting aside something, you know, like what Boy had said and you had said, RJ, for the things that are really important. So before we really started spending more, what we did is we did this. Okay, if we get sick, we have X amount to spend on it. And that way then, you don't feel so guilty. You know, my daughter is is married, has a kid. You know, I felt, not everyone does, that if you give them a good education, they're on their own. I've given them the best I can. But, you know, plan, as you say, for the essentials, including health. And then after that, hopefully, buy yourself such wonderful shoes like Boy has. Yeah, do anything, you know. Anyway.
But the stemming off from her discussion as well is that you realize on the flip side of, let's say that they want to end their lives because they don't want their kids to suffer. It's really just a reflection of the Philippines being second in terms of relationships when it comes to the pro-life relationship index. It just means that that's how much it is valued, that you don't want the kids to suffer. And that's why it goes back to the point that where we realize that it's important for us to be more communicative when it comes to relationships, not just between spouses, but between you and your parents, and of course you and your siblings. Because admittedly, I haven't had the chance yet to speak to my own parents and say, okay, if something happens to you, what happens to us? How should we, as a family, react to the situation? Also to my siblings, because of course, right now everything is fine. Diba? Right now, that's always the situation. Everything is fine between all of you, but when push comes to shove, or when there's a situation where mortality comes into play, that's where you test the quality of relationships. And sometimes that's when things go unspoken, and that's why they say some funerals can be uncomfortable, because there were things that were left unspoken. So hopefully, through the pro-life relationship index, we realize that, you know, it's not just talking to our spouses, which is important, but talking to all those who are loved ones, to make sure that relationships, whether they're alive or they are alive in another place, that we are all okay. We're all okay.
But at this point, though, the truth is that even though the sandwich generation, who takes care of both the parents and the children, there still is 1/3 of the population that our generation still takes care of our parents. Like Tito Boy, obviously, you still take care of those before you. Right?
Oh, yeah, I will take care of my mother.
And when did you take on that responsibility?
Because I should.
No, when did you?
When, from the very beginning. You know, if I were 6 and I were not a pole dancer yet, and if I could afford to support my mother, I would have supported her, you know, from the very beginning. My father passed on when I was, about 16, 15? I was a certified virgin. And when my father passed on, I'm proud, Marge. No, but that was a lesson. Again, I go to my past. Namatay ang tatay ko dahil wala kaming pera, wala kaming pambayad sa ospital. Namatay sa loob ng sasakyan ng tatay ko on the way to San Juan de Dios. And I made a promise, this is not going to happen to my mother. I saved enough. I was really crazy. I ferociously saved enough so that when the time comes that Nanay needs the best health care and she needs St. Luke's Global, I would be able to go there as if I go to SNR. And that's not to make yabang. I prepared for it. I want to be able to take care of my mother. When should a child take care of his parents? I have a very different view. I've really a very, very different view. we should take care of our parents. We should take care of the elderly. We should. At what age, at any time you can afford to take care of them, we should.
Tito, is that utang na loob or is that just pagmamahal talaga?
It is nature to me. It's not even utang. Of course, my mother is a wonderful mother, but you know, my dissertation in my doctoral dissertation in social development discussed maternal love, which is both scientifically proved. This is the first kind of love, or parental love for that matter. This is the first kind of love that you experience. So it can be both affected by the environment and by nature. Utang na loob ba ito? Hindi yun ang unang dahilan. Anak ka, responsibilidad mo to take care of your mother and of your father. It's God's. I'm not spiritual. I'm not religious. But it is the duty and obligation of a child to take care of his parents. That's what I believe in. That's what I believe in.
Please go ahead.
There are just two things, and I'm glad you brought up religion. Culturally, religion is very important among many Filipinos. Some have been able to, in quotes, escape that, right? But religion is very important. And so this issue, sorry to bring it up again, about suicide comes up. And I think if parents can talk, children can talk to their parents and say, I love you very much, and please don't worry about, how much your medical care will cost or something, because I'm there for you and it's so important to me. I think that will make a real difference.
Marge,
to people.
Nanay, who has mild dementia, once in a while would say, not would say that I wanna
Yes.
go, but she would worry.
Yes.
There are episodes when she would say, hindi ka ba nahihirapan? Hindi, nanay. Pinaghandaan ko po ito. Kung ano ang kailangan mo. I think that makes us unique to a certain extent. Can I imagine putting my mother, for example, in a house where doctors and nurses would take care of her? No way. I will keep my mother in my house. I will be there. I want her to hear my voice. And pinaghandaan namin ito. And the good thing is, tama ka RJ, relationships. I'm lucky to have a partner, Bong, who can make her laugh. I'm happy to have a partner who loves my mother dearly. I'm happy that I have a partner who understands my devotion to my mother. Because she's the center of my universe. I'm happy. Did I convince him? Did we talk about it? I'm lucky. I'm lucky na natural para kay Bong na mahalin ang aking ina.
Well, that's good that you brought up that topic, Tito Boy, because I was going to ask Doc Margie, in-laws are a different topic altogether. My mother-in-law is Spanish, so I have my own experiences. But, there's also that sense of obligation from the partner. Because like Tito Boy's relationship with his mom is obviously of a different stratosphere. Kasi yung loyalty talaga niya, di ba? But how do other couples deal with it?
Okay. Other couples, okay, first I want to share, Tito Boy. Tito Boy, sorry,
Tito Boy is okay.
I'm older than you, so Tito Boy.
It's okay, no. Marge.
Completely different. In fact, you go against nature in that sense because evolutionarily speaking, the people always take care of their young because as Dawkins said, who has upset many people with, I forget, the God delusion, he wrote a book first which has changed the way people look at relationships called the selfish gene. And what he has said and seems to have proven is the selfish gene is selfish because all you want to do is perpetrate yourself. No, make sure your genes carry on, which is, sorry, an aside. This is why men view fidelity differently from women. Based on the studies. And that is why, evolutionarily speaking, because you care about your genes passing on, you actually don't care about the older people. They passed on their genes to you, and therefore you pass it on to the future. And so I think, hopefully, all of us, would have taken care of our parents, so we are different in the way we look at things.
But Marge, I think it's creating that balance. My experience is that I take care of my mother, but Archie is also right. If you have children, you have that responsibility to take care of your children. And the issue has become, you are in the middle because you take care of the elderly and you take care of the young. My point here is, if you have the wherewithal to take care of all, why can't you? I mean, you can only be punished if it's against your will. But how does that make you feel that you have to take care of children?
But I think what's important...
But you have a wealthy mom.
I have a hardworking mom. Maybe that's the
No, but
better word
hardworking,
for it.
beautiful, and wealthy.
So I guess what's more important for us to read... Well, I tackled the issue of parents, but then for those of you who've got in-laws, can you raise your hands? In-laws, all of you who've got in-laws. It's a challenge. I mean,
Single ata lahat ng tao
diba? I mean, the
dito
idea
eh.
over here is that nobody can ever come here and say that I have had a wonderful relationship all the time with my in-laws. I mean,
Talaga?
we can
Never,
not all of us
never.
can say it. I mean to say there's ups and downs. I mean, it's a two-way street, right? It's your relationship with it's not only the relationship with your in-laws, but your wife's relationship with your parents as well. And it's quite a bit of a challenge because you realize over time that you grow up with a specific set of values with your family.
Baka mama's boy ka.
Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything here.
Diba?
But at the same time, it's also saying that you grew up with a set of values. Your wife grew up with a set of values as well in their family. And when you get married, what you realize is that sometimes you can't say, oh, what I grew up with, my values are superior to your values. They're actually the same, but it takes time to reconcile both of those things.
But do you talk about rules of engagement?
Oh.
Do you actually talk about reconciling?
That's the thing lang.
differences?
That's where the conversation happens because that's where again we go back to the idea of relationships because not only do you have to reconcile you and let's say you and your wife and your in-laws or your mother or father-in-law, but you also have to reconcile her relationship with your mother. So that's why it takes so much communicate. I mean, that's why it takes so much communication out of you because it comes to issues of money. How do you treat money? How do you treat family? It's not just you and your wife have established or your partner have established how you want to value that relationship. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's how your in-laws want to value the relationship
No,
which
it takes
you want.
a lot of commitment. But in the LGBT relationship, that takes a different sphere. That takes a different sphere, but that's for later.
Okay. Thank you, Tito Boy, because I'll give Doc Margie 2 sentences
Yes.
because it's already in all caps. We are running out of time
Yes.
because the conversation
We're just
is so
starting,
lively.
Lexi.
I know.
Ay,
Just
naman,
starting.
you got the 3 of us here to speak, eh, di ba?
Yes.
Eh, well,
okay.
it
Let me
wasn't
just
me.
let me just say that money is not just money where in-laws and parents are concerned. For example,
Agree.
have done much work with OFW families. In-laws get in the way all the time, even if you're not OFWs, because it means something. And if it's your mom, I mean, if you're, maybe not so secure or unresolved conflicts or want to be sure you're still number one in your son's life, you argue, and one of the things you see is how much money it's given to you as opposed to your own wife. Mahirap yon. But this is the major problem when in-laws come into play, at least in my clinical experience, because the money is meant to symbolize the relationship and how important you are. So it is not just how much you get, but certainly what that means and where you are in the priority of your child.
Okay, so let's move on.
Yes.
In the Philippines,
Yes,
no,
ma'am.
because it's kind of connected, Doc.
What?
It's connected.
Oh,
The
okay.
next topic. Couples that are more transparent with their parents tend to have better PRI scores compared to those who hold information from each other and from the parents, syempre, no? Partners. Okay, so how can couples be more honest with each other obviously from a professional perspective as opposed to, a personal perspective?
Very short. Okay, there is a concept in psychology called self-disclosure. Self-disclosure is like a dance. You do not open yourself and share deeper parts of yourself with someone unless you trust them. And this includes your partner. Just a very small example. This girl told her partner in trust, that I lied. I did not come from a convent school. I came from a public school. It was important to her. And what her partner did, instead of honoring that trust, is make jokes about it to other people. So, pag sayaw yan, iniwanan na siya. Okay, because self-disclosure is a dance. What happens is, and this is how you can get to share more and more deeply, you say something about yourself, and to show that the person is interested and wants to have a closer relationship with you, whether it be your partner or not, because sometimes partners do not, he will share something at the same level or something deeper. If you both honor the confidences, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And studies have shown that there is no end to the depth of who you are and what you can share with your partner. And really, the more you share, the deeper your relationship is. Short.
Oh, very concise. Very good.
I am so obedient.
But what
And
about
what I've realized for myself, and stemming from that one, is that, well, I wrote a book before called Is It Hot in Here or Is It Me? About relationships. Please buy a copy of my book and help subsidize my children's college education. Huh? So anyway, what I realized is that the way that we communicate is a bit different. That especially when you get married, and what you realize is that when you talk with your wife, men talk very straightforward. It's a very straightforward conversation. But women talk more emotionally. And sometimes we don't really realize that they don't really mean a lot of what they say, but they mean the emotion behind it. For example, if your wife says to you, "I want to kill you," she doesn't mean that most of the time, just 80% of the time, di ba? So, but the idea is that you have to appreciate the emotion that she's trying to put. She exaggerates things because there's the emotion she wants you to appreciate. And sometimes, like for you, but you're very straight. If your wife says something to you, I try to realize that she does not meant to offend me, but meant to exaggerate what she really wants to say. When I say that, I'm trying to say that because it really helps with a relationship. When you talk with your wife, that you realize that one talks logically, one talks emotionally. So therefore, when you do converse, you kind of say, okay, I understand how you're feeling. Or for example, when you talk to her, I realize when it's coming to telling each other the truth. You know how men, whenever you complain to us, we try to solve your problem at once because the male brain is built that way for problem solving. That, you know, I don't want you to solve my problem. I just want you to listen to me. Diba? So sometimes you really have to talk. Communication is also a matter of understanding how we communicate. And for me, my wife, it doesn't matter how long you've been married. Diba? Is that right? It doesn't matter how long you've been married. That you'll always have to have a point where I go, sweetheart, you want me to listen to you or do you want me to give a solution? At the same time, if she says something very strong to me, I realize I know where it's coming from. Because sometimes you've got to get those issues out of the way for true communication to take place. And, you know, telling each other how you feel with self-disclosure, it's not something, you warm up to that. Is that right, Lexi? You warm up to that
true.
discussion.
I mean, in terms of honesty, though, at this point, right, and social media, Tito Boy, do you think it plays a role?
Social media, traditional media, actual living, honesty is non-negotiable. But I'd like to take a different tack. In relationships, I don't think you can be absolutely honest with each other. Halimbawa lamang, in my relationship with Bong, if I know that Bong doesn't like me to go to a gay bar, I mean, I wouldn't come home, and if I didn't do anything lascivious, I mean, and I wouldn't present the information to my partner and say, hey, I just came from a gay bar, if it's going to upset him. Is it lying? It's not full disclosure, but I wouldn't do it, to be very honest. Let's say I come from an event like this one and I saw somebody very attractive and I flirted a little bit. I'm not going to call him. He's now in Cebu and say, hey, babe, I flirted with somebody. So am I saying that honesty is relative? I'm not. It's again very personal. I mean, I know my partner. I know I'm going to fight with him if I tell him exactly what had happened. But I'm not rationalizing. I'm not saying that I am not committing I'm not cheating. But on the more important things in life, I think you've got to be honest about each other. You have to be honest about how you feel about Mama, his mom, or about how you reacted to how his sisters treated me, or perhaps even money matters. I mean, we talk about it. Kami ni Bong, talk show kami gabi-gabi. No matter how tired we are, we do talk shows. Q&A yun. We talk about everything. Not everything, but I also make sure that I'm able to address, again, that uniqueness, that sensibility. Hindi yung after this session, say, ay, sabi nila, you have to be honest. But if, you know, this is just very quick. I just want to go off track a little bit. You know, when Nanay watched me one time, I was doing a show called Private Conversations with Boy Abunda. As a child, I also had to deal with the truth that my father was born out of wedlock. So, in one of my interviews, I just blurted it out that tatay was born out of wedlock. Sa probinsya in our time, ang tawag sa kanila mga anak sa pagkabastardo. You know, my mother was very hurt. She called me and she said, "Why did you even say that? It wasn't even necessary." I said, "Nanay, because I also have to deal with my pain." Sabi ng nanay ko, hindi lahat ng totoo binobroadcast. Hindi lahat ng totoo sinasabi. Pero lahat ng totoo ini-embrace. Tinatanggap. But you don't have to say certain things. So this is something very personal. I know Marge and RJ refer to researches and statistics. I'd like to share with you very empirical, not data, but you know, experiences. I went through. I'm proud. I'm in a 34-year relationship. It was not easy, but it worked.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm glad you said that it's something personal, and that works for a lot of people. I think it's wonderful. I just want to share something with my own relationship. You know, I learned, maybe because my husband is not Filipino, so may pag magsalita. Okay, I remember when we first got married, I was 52, he was 57, and because, you know, we first got married, and parang, I thought, and he did worship the ground I walked on, but oh, he's there.
Yeah, make sure to listen carefully. Okay?
You're like nanay. You're like nanay, yeah? I don't care. Anyway, and I would ask him, would you sleep with that girl if you weren't married to me? And occasionally, he would say yes. And I would pout. And he said, don't ask me. He walked away now. Don't ask me if you don't want to know. And so I learned. No, but it depends, God. You're absolutely right. It depends on the relationship. And just for me, and then if I can talk about infidelity, which is for most people, and just for me, I wanted him to be able to tell the truth. I wanted to be strong enough para I would know. But other people are different. And they would, as you say, if you don't do anything lascivious, and the person prefers, I don't want to know every little single thing of your life, or you have sussed them out and feel that way, by all means, go. Okay? In infidelity, okay, I, however, say, if you were unfaithful, you know, it is inevitable that the partner will worry and worry and worry. Now, if you, the unfaithful one, are really, really sorry, you know, you have to pay the price and prove it to her. In my clinical experience, then, no passwords are kept from your wife. Or, I mean, I say wife because usually it's the men that are unfaithful, okay? Password to the telephone, password so that the cell phone, you don't have to look for it. I know other people have a strong belief in privacy, fine. But many women feel, you know, it was your insistence on privacy that helped you become unfaithful in the first place. No? So if you really want to prove you're sorry, then put your money where your mouth is. Don't just say you're sorry. First of all, put 1 million pesos in my bank account. I'm joking.
Okay, well,
put it on Fruit
RJ.
Life, but let everything open to your partner, because
Okay.
that means a lot.
My
Let's
wife has
just-
access to everything.
Okay.
Joint bank account kami, but she
No,
takes care of
because
the money.
right now we have to move on
Yes,
to women's expectations of men, according to the study, okay? Currently, only 1/3 of men in the Philippines think that they do most of the housework and look after the children more compared to 3/4 of women, okay?
That question marginalizes me.
Tito boy.
I'm joking.
If couples in the Philippines could change anything about their partners, so I think it goes both ways. Hindi lang women's expectations of men. I think it's both, no? 38% would make their partners more responsible. 34% would make them more attentive, which we've discussed already a while ago. As for women in particular, 32% of women in the Philippines would make their partners quit smoking or drinking. Okay, so those are the facts. So Doc Marge, how do you ask something like that from your partner? asking him to be responsible with money. I mean, these are topics that how do you discuss it with them?
Okay, in family therapy, there is a truism, no, that you really cannot change your partner, you can change yourself. That sounds hokey and very Pollyanna-ish, but that is true. Because the other truism, only two, is if you do something and it doesn't work, doing more of the same thing doesn't work. If your husband was unfaithful or spent money you didn't know and you try and make him feel guilty, after all I've done for you and that doesn't work, don't threaten suicide or something to make him more guilty. It does not work. Okay? So, you change yourself. I mean, just a very quick example is my husband. If I made tampo, and he said, don't ask me things that you don't really want the answer to, then you change yourself. If you want him to keep on telling you the brutal truth, you learn to accept it. Okay, this is how you change yourself, so he continues telling you the brutal truth, if that is important to you. However, if you want him to be less truthful, which it would be very hard for my husband to be, and I'm very happy for that, then you change yourself also. You don't make tampo, so he can be more truthful in anything. You don't want him to spend so much money when he goes out and makes barkada. Try guilt, that's usually the first thing people do, but if it doesn't work, think of something else. Okay, that's
from a philosophical point of view, I just wanted to make a comment on the 2 points, Marge. One, about asking your partner to be more responsible. I don't think you ask for it. I mean, you know, if you have a relationship, that should come about because when a responsibility is demanded, my experience is it's imposing something on me, and that diminishes the value of that responsibility. But if you are in a particular relationship where you can actually talk about responsibility as naturally as possible, depending on capabilities, depending on attitudes, again, I go back to culture. That's my first comment. The second comment about cheating. I agree with Marge that to a certain extent, there has to be retribution. There has to be retribution from the offender. But you know what we're forgetting also is you are in a partnership. The other party has to show willingness to forgive. If you want a relationship to work, as my favorite poetess Maya Angelou would always say, I mean, if you love someone, give that other person always a second chance. Always a second chance. Always a second chance. I mean, easier said than done. Easier said than done. I did not come from a perfect relationship, but insofar as my experience, I am the first one to say I had my own indiscretions, but my partner was willing, and I was willing to forgive. There was retribution, and we are okay. We talked about it.
Okay, RJ,
I'm in a perfect relationship with my wife. That's what my wife wants me to tell you. I'm in a perfect relationship with my wife.
I'm really happy for you, RJ. I'm really happy.
But the things what I wanted to emphasize over here is just one thing about the idea of responsibility in the pro-life relationship index. I think especially when it comes to finances, when you discuss responsibility, especially from an entrepreneur, from a pragmatic perspective, is the idea that you can both discuss what your financial goals are as a family. So for example, it can be as simple as I want to send my kid to go abroad for an education. I want us to at least travel this much a year. I want us to own a house. And you both own up to what the financial goal of the family is. Then I guess you both have that joint responsibility to achieve it. Like in my place, it's my job to hustle to find the opportunities for business, whether it be by hosting or by opening up new businesses. It's my wife's responsibility to be able to invest the money judiciously and properly so we're able to achieve that financial goal. And when I think that made me a bit more responsible in terms of looking for jobs and also choosing my time wisely. So like for me, I don't do much hanging out because I choose to say, I need to use this opportunity for me to look for more opportunities for work.
But before Doc Marge goes to her point, I just wanted to quickly lang about dividing responsibility because the question is for you and then Doc Marge, you can tie it up together. Dividing responsibility within your family, how do you do it?
Like I mentioned earlier on, we both earn money right now. Who here works together with your spouse? Who here? Good for you. You know, it's not easy. you know, when we put up so I do my hosting myself, but when we put up Mercato, it was a business I put up together with my wife. If it's already complicated to be in a relationship as a spouse, think of your spouse as a business partner, and that's all kinds of crazy, I tell you. Because up to the bedroom, you argue not just about relationships, you argue about business even when it comes over there.
Does it affect the sex life?
Well, it makes it more exciting, I guess. but I think what I'm trying to say over here is that it brings the relationship to a whole new different level. Dimension. So there's a dimension already over there. But what we try to point out over here very clearly for us is that, okay, you stay with what you're strong at, which for me is development and bring in things, and she stays strong with finance. So she really developed, what I really appreciate and honor my wife for is that when we got married, she didn't come from a business background, but she chose to do some financial education. She did a master's of entrepreneurship so she could run our business better right now. And now she's in charge of, she realized that she had such a strong knack for entrepreneurship that she took over, and she does finance very, very well, and I do my part very, very well. And whether, you know, it seems that we're not fighting as often as I thought we would, but it seems to be good that she's the more kuripot one and she invests better. I'm better at going out and building networks and building businesses, and that turns out to be pretty good for us.
Okay, and Doc Marge, apart from your point that you're going to espouse, also does gender still play a role in terms of responsibility? So maybe you can tie that all together.
Okay. Unfortunately, in the Philippines, gender plays such a big role still, right? I can give many examples, but just offhand because you want it to be short. Okay, first of all, you know, gender, the concept of gender has to do with the social construct. Okay, it is not reality. And a lot of research shows that there is no such thing as a male brain and a female brain, which we were led to believe. Okay, sometimes there might be a different thing. Can I say something very short? Okay, when I talk about genes, for example, in the animal kingdom, lions will just say, we'll kill a lion, a baby cub, which is not their own, okay? The counterpart in my mind of this is when you look at incest, overwhelming majority are stepfathers, okay, who commit incest because a father would never, sometimes they do it, but they wouldn't do it to their own child. This is one of the few things where there seems to be a little bit of a male brain and a female brain. But actually, there is no such thing. Studies, neuroscientific studies have shown what it is our concept of gender. It's a social construct of gender. And unfortunately, when you talk about culture, the Philippines is so gender-based, which is why we don't have divorce in the Philippines. So, what does it mean? Women suffer. If you separate, there is no way you can be guaranteed that you will have alimony or support for your children. There is absolutely no way. More men commit infidelity than women. Let me go back to this. You can certainly survive infidelity.
No, but it becomes an issue of power. Marge, having said what you said, what should be done? It is not nature, but it is a social mental construct. So what should be done?
Okay, among other things, I think you teach your children, not just by words, but by example, okay? It's a slow process, but still, it will work.
Okay? Marge, what should you teach your children?
What should you teach your children? For example, why should I do the housework? For example, in our house, Jeremy has a word, Ferndale famine. We just came back from Singapore, and he made a joke that he's going to starve again, which he will because I don't cook at the moment. So he talks about Ferndale famine because he does most of the cooking. If I were gender, focused, I would feel so guilty about it, but I don't. Small example, in schools you can do this. You can have seminars to do this, okay? This is how it can change.
You are espousing for gender equality, in other words.
I am espousing the belief that Men are not made to earn more money and to tell women what to do and to women to follow. This is what I'm espousing, okay?
To break the stereotype is what you're
the
espousing.
stereotype. Thank you, Lexi. And the other thing, going back to infidelity, because generally, this is the thing that kills relationships. You may stay together for whatever reason, but it can never go back to what it was before unless, first of all, the betrayed partner realizes that she may have had a contribution to it. I say she may have had, because let's face it, some men are really bastards. Okay? You can be the best wife in the world, you can do anything. He wants to fool around because it's gender, because it's what we were made to believe. How can you forgive in the beginning? You're right, not retribution. But do not just say you're sorry and then you say, well, it's my privacy and all that. If you feel you have to trust me and I have to tell you where I am and I have to answer the phone and not just you cannot find the person, which drives a lot of women crazy, then put your money where your mouth is.
But that brings us back to deconstructing again that mental, spiritual, cultural construct where the image of the woman is patterned after the martyr. After the suffering woman that you know, it's destroying. We should be destroying that construct.
Absolutely, but to insist that let me just not accept that from now on you'll be faithful again. Then I find out even 2 years later that you were unfaithful and sorry, it's a mistake, and then that is a martyr. But to say no, you know. For me to believe you again, you have to do certain things because believe me, I can live without you. I can live without you. You have to do certain things.
Some women would say, I can do what you do.
Yeah, but yes, they can say that. But maybe because it's gender, because more and more women are fooling around. Are fooling around because maybe they have money. To do something out of revenge. It's not quite the same as, finding a woman with pert breasts, and an ass that can crack walnuts.
And just please quote the Twitter. Ass that
and
can
with
crack
that,
walnuts.
Doc Marge.
Because, you like her as opposed to revenge.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
Quiet.
Tito Boy, can
No,
we move on?
I
You're
get
okay?
it.
I'm
appreciate
appreciating the discussion.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to the last question.
Is that the last?
No, meron pa. Isa na lang.
Because we have to feed these people. Are you eating? Yes?
Take out the wine, take out the vino and the sangria. We're okay over
I
here.
will need a whole bottle of wine after this, okay?
Last question.
So when people in the Philippines make predictions about 2050, 80% believe that divorce and separation will be socially acceptable.
Yes.
Okay?
Let's go, I think, one by one. Para it can be quick.
Nako,
Okay?
Tito Boy.
Comment on that.
Well, we're not, I'm just putting it
Okay.
out and then you have a question each.
Okay.
So I'm
I was
putting
supposed
out-
to say praise God.
You can say that all you like. Okay, 77% believe that over half of the couples living together will not be married, so marriage does not need to be part of the equation. 74% believe that more than half of children will be born to unmarried parents. 70% believe that children will have a better future than they do now, which is very good, hallelujah. And 65% believe that same-sex marriage will be legal in the Philippines. Is that percentage high enough for you, Tito Boy? Parang
My question
kulang pa yan.
basically, the two things, that a lot of children are going to be born to unmarried parents and that children having a better future. How do you reconcile that? I mean, if you have, I asked Alan that initially. Meron dyan na maraming mga bata daw will be born to unmarried parents because this whole mental construct of buo ang pamilya, di ba? But the next one says
Better future.
that they have better future even if they're born to unmarried parents. Si
Doc Marge will answer.
One of the things that at least feminist movements have said is we have to accept and embrace and not think that a nuclear family of mother, father, and child
Is
the right
traditional,
one.
is the right one,
You know,
tama.
father, or mother, and child is just as good. Unwed mother can be just as good depending on how you deal with
LGBT
it.
mother.
Yes.
It's just as good. Pero Marge,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me contextualize it. There is also a very strong study that says, children of OFW parents have become problematic because of the diaspora. because of marriages being broken, couples being separated by the mere fact that one is abroad. It was in that context. Na meron tayong pananaw, there is this notion that to be able to raise children, parents have to be present.
Okay, and you are saying that the OFWs prove that because you're not present, you know. Okay, first of all, this is a reality, right? That you have to leave because there are not enough jobs here. You can do things though. It takes hard work, but you can do things, especially with social media, Viber. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Children say, you know, and parents have noticed, what is this? Oh, it doesn't have to be long conversations all the time.
There have to be conversations.
But often, and quality conversations, often, kahit na short, okay? Secondly, don't let the mother or the father, the parent here, encourage hiding things from the parents. Many studies show that especially fathers, unfortunately, who come to the Philippines, when they're here, they want to be the boss. They want to be the father. Okay, your curfew, you'll be coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning. You come home at 12. You come home at 10. The mother might say, pasensya na lang. 2 weeks lang naman rito ang tatay mo. Pagbigyan mo na. This is not good. That's why, as you say, it's a long slog, but it's worth fighting for. Because what you're doing is you're colluding with the children to lie to your father. Kawawa naman yung tatay mo, nandun na siya, tapos magsisinungaling kayo when nandito siya. The overseas parent, he feels very guilty. But do not translate and do not encourage your children to translate your love for them in terms of pasalubong. So when you talk to them, you don't just talk to them about anong gusto mo pagbalik ko. You know, it is not perfect, but there are so many things we can do so that even though you are not physically present, you are emotionally there for them.
I totally buy into that, but again, it's a whole village.
Oh yes,
it's a whole village because you have to have a starting point. You know, from school to church, etc.
But speaking of, obviously it takes a village, what are the implications of these stats on marriage as an institution?
Well, I think the more important thing is to look back at our study again. And it says that the Philippines is second in terms of the whole of Asia, in terms of valuing relationships. And I think in the end, it doesn't, things will change. Things will change. It took 50 plus years to get the same-sex institutionalized in the US as well. But what I'm saying more importantly is it's a development of how we create our relationships with our partners, with our spouses, with our parents. And in the end, I think that's what's going to be more important. Whether or not it's defined institutionally or by the church, what's more important is the quality of the relationships which we develop. And right now, we're seeing already what's more important for us here right now. It's developing how you relate to your wife, how you relate to your parents, how you relate to your in-laws, how you relate to your siblings, which becomes key. And passing that on, because I would like to think that in 2050, if we look back at the study again that we did here on the screen, that we're still number 2 or even number 1 in terms of the quality of relationships that we have, because we've realized that it's not a matter of saying who's right or who's wrong, who's lying or who's not, but that the level of communication which we've developed between us is to the point that it's okay. If you know, we are honest with each other, we know what we're doing, and hopefully the quality of the communication comes to the point that it's not only satisfying from an emotional standpoint, but hopefully from a financial standpoint as well. I think it'll go hand in hand. The more responsible you are financially and emotionally, that will make for a happier family.
Tito Boy?
Okay. No, I'll take the route of the same-sex marriage. Of course, that study shows a very encouraging data for LGBT people like us. But if you notice, I didn't say that I am for same-sex marriage. I will fight for same-sex marriage. Let me start by saying that I always say this, gay love is equal to all forms of human love. It will take a little while for all of us to actually agree on this, but we will keep on fighting about it. But it is more difficult for LGBT people in this country. Alam niyo ba na halimbawa, if my partner right now, Bong, or I pass on, we don't even have the right to claim the body of the other. Wala kaming karapatan. The karapatan belongs to the family of the partner. So even before we tackle marriage, that's why I was not saying that I am not espousing. I am in support of same-sex marriage, but I'm also pragmatic. I'm also realistic. I would like to say that sana'y maaprubahan muna yung nakabimbing anti-discrimination bill sa Kongreso for like, 18 years now? Let's talk first about discrimination. Let's talk first about civil union, giving partners rights. Let's talk first about domestic partnership, making sure that there are laws that protect our rights as partners. Hindi naman kami nag-iilusyon na bukas makalawa ay magbabago ang isipan ng simbahan. I'm a Catholic. At sasabihin, ay oo, tama yung kanilang diskurso. But let me end this discourse about same-sex marriage by loosely quoting Justice Kennedy, who wrote the majority decision that granted same-sex marriage in the United States of America a couple of years ago. Ang sabi niya, isa sa pinakamalaking patunay, the biggest proof, that LGBT people respect the sacrament of marriage is our desire to be part of the sacrament. I mean, I think that was simply said because that's true. Iginagalang namin ang institusyon ng marriage. That's the fundamental, the core reason why we want to be part of it. Now, as to the rights, as to kami, inaalagaan namin, we have special financial advisors on how the money would go when one passes on. Dahil wala kami sa batas. Wala kami sa batas. We have to be creative because we are not yet, we don't enjoy your rights yet. So when that study says in 2050 same-sex marriage is going to be legal, then praise God. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much for that, Tito Boy. You know what? Before we ask for closing remarks, maybe we can go into the Q&A if anybody has any questions.
Baka gutom na sila, Alex.
Ha?
Baka gutom na lahat.
Well, let's just see if, because it's part of the program. Yeah, one question or two. We'd also like to call on stage Miss Marie Lee of Ipsos so she can talk us through the process of making the PRI. If anyone has any questions, let's give her a round of applause, please. Okay, so we are now taking questions from the audience. There's a microphone back there. If anybody does have any questions. No questions? Gutom na kaya. Gutom na sila. But anyway, maybe you can talk a bit about the PRI process before we break for lunch.
As it was mentioned earlier, it is covered in 9 countries in Asia, and it has 4,600 bays. The sample size here in the Philippines is 500, so that's a robust sample size, and it covered Manila, Cebu, and Davao. And the confidence level, the margin of error is 4.3%. And since you're familiar with how surveys are, that's a pretty low margin of error, which means the results are very conclusive. And so that's all I'd like to say.
Thank you very much. If there are no other questions, yes, there's a question from the audience, please.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Cambodia ranked first. Siya yung nakaungo sa Pilipinas.
Cambodia ranked first,
Yeah.
and the reason for that, they increased in percentage points this round, is because they increased in constructive and expressive communication, which was very much tackled in our panel today. So it really is important. The distance from the ideal in the Philippines is 79. In Cambodia, it's 86. So for us to improve in our relationship index, it's really improving in our communication, understanding each other, and really making joint decisions, especially in areas like finance, longevity, and retirement. So those are the important points.
If I may ask another question, in what areas of the study did the Philippines score poorly?
Poorly. I don't think there was anything kasi we relatively had high scores, no? But where Cambodia was higher relative to the Philippines is in terms of the expectation that our parents will take care of us. Cambodia had a higher level of expectations of their children taking care of the parents. And that is also because Cambodia tends to be more traditional as a market versus the Philippines, which is becoming more liberal, outward-looking.
Thank you very much for that question. You're okay? Anybody else have any question? Yes?
Plan to continue the study.
I think that answer should be.
Was this the first time the study was conducted?
No, this
And
is
do
the
you
second
plan
time.
to continue this?
Let me give it to Kelly.
This is the second time we run this regional program. So last year we covered 10 markets and this year is for 9 markets. And we are happy to see different ups and downs in different markets and give us some good learning. So going forward, we see that this is a platform we want to continue.
Thank you very much for that. Any other questions? If not, I will actually ask everybody to wrap up with their final thoughts for today. So if you don't have any more questions, nobody wants to raise their hands. Okay, so Tito Boy, maybe you'd like to start with wrapping up?
Thank you, PruLife. Thank you for the study, the relationship index. This is very important to me personally as a television presenter. Thank you for always listening, for always understanding. But what comes to mind right now is we cannot leave this to just government. We cannot just leave this to institutions that are expected to help us build relationships. I think we go back to strengthening the Filipino family, strengthening the Filipino individual, taking on that responsibility within your sphere of affecting children, friends, people you work with, and saying it is important to build relationships. I don't think we should be, because there is this attitude. I wanted to go into what is the Department of Education doing? What are the other agencies doing? What is media doing? I want to backtrack because the question should be, after this engagement, what should I be doing to contribute to building relationships? And number 2, PruLife, maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Tito Boy. Miss Marie, if you could say a few words as well.
From the point of view of research, this is really a groundbreaking study because it is both qualitative and quantitative. It is deep-rooted also. So it is something that can also predict how Filipinos will improve in the future if we improve our relationships.
Thank you very much. RJ?
From my perspective, I want to share is that, especially when you are in a relationship with your spouse or with your partner, is that you need to discuss together what the financial goals are you for your relationship moving forward. If you want to have a happier future or a more stable, secure future, that depends on how you communicate with your spouse, especially what your financial goals are. So together, you can achieve that financial goal by preparing for it, by being both jointly responsible for whatever that financial goal is. Work towards that one, develop some sort of forced savings on the way, and finding recurring sources of income so that when you reach slash quote-unquote your golden years, you are happy and your children are happy, and you and the quality of the life of your partner or your spouse are very happy as well. So you're always going to be happy as per our PruLife Relationship Index. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, RJ. Yes. And Doc.
Okay,
It's all
first,
yours.
thank you for all the panelists. I learned so much. PruLife, forgive me, they did so well talking about how, the study has helped. And I agree, by the way, that I will just go on and talk about, couples. You did fantastically well on that. And just remember, please, especially if you're prone to be the one to just accept what is happening. And as everyone said, you have to deal with relationships and occasionally you have to stand your ground. Okay? Remember that talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Merong mga asawa, babae rin, na marunong mambola. And that's fine, no? But don't get swayed with just the words. You have been swayed by words before. And if your relationship is important, make sure that not only your partner, but yourself, you put your money where your mouth is. And don't just talk and promise and say you will do this, but actually do it. And just in case your partner does not do it, you think about it. What is better? To have a relationship where you're more financially secure, perhaps, but maybe your soul is dying. Maybe. And please also remember that talk is cheap even with your children. And if you stay and your partner treats you terribly, we'll just say you're the woman, because women also treat their husbands terribly. This is what your children will learn. It is okay for your spouse to treat you like this. My mother, which is the first person you learn from, lived with it. So I will cry like her. I will, pretend I walk, into a door or whatever. This is what they'll believe. Because as I say, you tell your children to stick up for yourself, to have respect for yourself. But if you yourself didn't have it, for whatever reason, no, I'm not blaming people who stay, but just remember that what you do has repercussions not only for your own life, but also for your children. So perhaps, like with money and other things, maybe at this point in our lives, we should think about legacy. What legacy will we leave in terms of making our family comfortable? What legacy will we leave in terms of making our children better equipped to live in a world that is becoming more and more complicated?
Well said, Doc Margie. Thank you so much. And with that, I'd like to thank our speakers, Ms. Marie Lee, Dr. Margie Holmes, Mr. RJ Ledesma, and Mr. Boy Abunda. Another round of applause for our panelists.
Thank you,
for
guys.
the genuine insights. You can now return to your beautiful table over there, and there will be an opportunity for an exclusive one-on-one interview with any of the panelists after lunch. Yes? Yes, the photo op is mamaya pa, di ba? Or ngayon na? You're changing the script, RJ, ah? Teka lang. May magko-closing remarks pa. Oo, RJ, closing remarks muna. You sit there first. Yes. Okay, so of course, we'd invite you to continue the conversation online by sharing your thoughts with hashtag re-inspiring real relationships with a focus on REAL, real. Now, please join me in welcoming PruLife UK's AVP for Corporate Affairs, Ms. Giselle Kamua, to give us her closing remarks.
Thank you to our guest panelists, Dr. Marge, Tito Boy, RJ, and of course, Miss Marie. Thank you very much for that inspiring session. I learned so much this morning. With the Relationship Index, we want all of you to be able to open up and discuss how your relationship affects your life goals and ambitions, and help plan better for yourselves and your loved ones. We also want the Relationship Index to inspire you to start planning for all possibilities in your present and future. We are looking forward to a future where relationships are nurtured and partners and families are more confident in their financial knowledge and decisions. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and I hope you are encouraged to inspire your relationships. I leave you now with our latest TV commercial that has actually gone live 12 noon today. We know that everything great usually comes from good combinations. And you'll see later on why we said so. Even relationships, as we learned from our speakers earlier, talked about good combinations. Good combos is what our newest campaign is all about. Have a pleasant day ahead, and I hope you enjoy our latest TVC.
This is Jo Marie. This is Apolonio. Frenemies having brunch. They like things that combine. He has a Yorkie pool. He has a Labradoodle. He wore jeggings and he wore jorts. Both of them Insuravest with a PruLink Elite Protector. An investment plan that comes with insurance. Insuravest with PruLink Elite Protector from PruLife UK.
That's a great way to end this afternoon. I'd like to thank everybody for being with us today. Big thanks also to our speakers and to our guests. Don't forget to bring the conversation online by using the hashtag re-inspiring relationships. At this point, we'd like to invite back our panelists for the photo opportunity on stage. We'd like to invite Doc Margie Holmes, of course, Mr. RJ Ledesma, Tito Boy Abunda, Mr. Antonio Jumbing de Rosas, Mr. Alan Tumbaga, Ms. Marili of Ipsos, and Ms. Giselle Camua.